Hey, gals and guys, it's Christopher Hosier from MyMediaHelper.com, and this is our last day of Halloween reviews, and today we're doing Plex. Yes, it's a September day, it's raining out, the leaves are changing. I do these early just because it does take time to put these together, watch the movies, do the reviews, and get everything together and up online. I just want to make sure that I get them up on time, so certainly enough on time. So let's get into these Plex movie reviews. Let's check them out. And as always, I like to point out all the services online that have free movies and television shows for your enjoyment. They may have a commercial here and there, but not too bad. And here's the 5 movies that we'll be covering this time out. Some good, some not so good. And then all the links to those movies can be found below in the description. And then, of course, I always welcome any thoughts, comments. Maybe you have a movie I should be watching and reviewing for next Halloween. And here's my super guy, thumbs up. Here's my super guy, thumbs down, just for the hell of it. And then here's the Plex logo. So once the Plex logo is showing, that we begin our reviews. Class of 1999 is a 1990 American science fiction thriller film directed by Mark L. Lester. It is the director's follow-up to his 1982 film Class of 1984, which I haven't seen. The film was shot in 1988 at Lincoln High School in Seattle's Wallingford neighborhood. In the introduction of the film, the exterior of the school is clearly visible as a heavily secured area with 2 guard towers on top of the stairs leading to the entrance. The film was originally scheduled to be released by Vestron Pictures through their subsidiary Lightning Pictures on October 6th of 1989, but Vestron's financial turmoil resulted in the film being sold to Taurus Entertainment Group in March of 1990. Taurus eventually released the film theatrically on May 11th of 1990. And it's one of those films that I've seen out there for free online. I just never bothered to check it out until now. It's great, dumb, stupid fun. Yeah, I like this movie a lot. I think of it as a cross between The Terminator and something like maybe The Breakfast Club or 3 O'Clock High, or insert your favorite high school movie here. I've seen this movie around, as I said, free streaming services, but never gave it much thought. It was not until I was watching an episode of the YouTube show Good Bad or Bad Bad with Kyle Hinton and Brian Shaligo that made me decide to check it out. They were both praising the film, and the clips they showed on their show were pretty awesome, so I gave it a go, and I loved it. I would classify this film more as a science fiction film rather than horror, but there are plenty of blood and kills in this movie, so we'll just call it, sci-fi horror, I guess, right? A sequel title called 1999 2, The Substitute was released direct-to-video in 1994. I never heard of that one. I'll seek it out and see if it's worth a review for next Halloween. All right, let's get through this one quickly. God, this movie is a mess. Even the poster is a mess. Chillarama is an American 2011 horror comedy anthology film consisting of 4 stories that take place at a drive-in theater playing monster movies. Each segment is a homage to a different genre and style. Filming took place in late 2010 and premiered at Fright Fest on August 27th of 2011. So overall, this movie is just plain stupid. Most of it isn't even worth watching. The film is an anthology built into an overall arc culminating to a final climax. Now, the opening scene was pretty funny and kept me watching. The Godzilla sperm sequence, I thought, although very stupid, was also pretty funny. Everything else was just plain stupid. A lot of humor missing the mark. Perhaps the film just didn't age well. I've never seen it before, so it's not like I can compare how I watched it when I was younger until now. You know how when you're younger, you love certain films and they stuck with you even knowing they didn't age well. I can see how that happened with some people. I guess my example would be Loaded Weapon 1. I just watched Loaded Weapon 1 a couple weeks ago and it hasn't aged well, but for nostalgia's sakes, I still like it. And maybe for other people, this film is the same, but it sucked. I hated this. I hated this movie. Don't watch it. All right, let's escape from this piece of shit, too. I promise there's a good movie coming. It's just not this one. Escape Room from 2017. To celebrate his 30th birthday, Tyler and his friends visit an escape room loaded with ominous clues. With their time ticking away, the group notices that the mysterious puzzles are becoming increasingly difficult and increasingly deadly and increasingly stupid. Escape from escape room any way you can. Escape from this movie. It's terrible. I guess there's another escape room movie from 2019. This ain't it. This one got 18% off of Rotten Tomatoes. The other one is at 50%. Not that I've seen the other one, but I'd probably escape this escape room and break into the other one. Neither this film nor that film is related in any way beyond the name and concept of, well, you know, an escape room. This movie is so ill-conceived. The fact that it even thinks it's clever is delusional. There's so many coincidences, and things would have to happen exactly as planned for this to even be in the realm of common sense. When dealing with people, there's not such thing as these exacts. This movie is stupid. It's dumb. Don't watch it. Watch the next one. Daybreakers is a 2000 science fiction action horror film written and directed by Michael and Peter Spierig. The film takes place in a futuristic world overrun by vampires and centers around a vampire corporation which sets out to capture and farm the remaining humans while researching a substitute for human blood. Ethan Hawke plays vampire hematologist Edward Dalton, whose work is interrupted by human survivors led by former vampire Elvis, played by William Dafoe, who has a cure that can save the human species. An international co-production between Australia and the United States, Daybreakers premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival in 2009. It was released in the United Kingdom on January 6th, 2010, and in North America on January 8th of 2010. The film grossed over $50 million worldwide and received mixed critical reception. Weta Workshop created the creature effects for Daybreakers. The Spierig brothers wanted the vampires in the film to have a classic aesthetic to them while feeling like a more contemporary interpretation. After experimenting with complex makeup designs, they decided that a more minimalistic approach to makeup had a more powerful effect. Hawke was initially hesitant to join the production as he was not a big fan of the genre films. He ultimately accepted the role as Edward after deciding the story felt different from that of a typical B-movie, and Hawke described the film as an allegory of man's pacing with natural resources, which I guess can generally be true. I like this film. I think I saw this film a while back. I just don't remember much about it. A rewatch was in order, and it's pretty cool. It's based basically the vampires are running out of humans to suck, so to speak, running out of blood production. So there is a blood substitute in the works, but there is also a cure. So there's a lot of vampire corporate greed as to covering up the cure and doing the substitute. It's all about money and natural resources, and it can be put, this fantasy world can be put into the real world because that's kind of how the real world works as well when it comes to natural resources. But a very interesting take on vampires and all the vampire tropes, and I would highly recommend it for your Halloween viewing. The Hills Have Eyes is a 1977 American horror film written, directed, and edited by the great Wes Craven and starring Susan Lanier, Michael Berryman, and a very young Dee Wallace. The film follows the Carters, a suburban family targeted by a family of cannibal savages after becoming stranded in the Nevada desert. Following Craven's directorial debut, The Last House on the Left, in 1972, producer Peter Locke was interested in financing a similar project. Craven based the film's script on the legend of Scottish cannibal Sawney Bean, which Craven viewed as illustrating how supposedly civilized people could become savage. Other influences on the film include John Ford's The Grapes of Wrath from 1940 and Tobe Hooper's The Texas Chain Massacre from 1974, which, if you see my past reviews, I'm not too crazy about. The Hills Have Eyes was shot in the Mojave Desert. The film crew was initially unenthusiastic about the project, but they became more passionate due to Craven's enthusiasm and came to believe that they were making a special movie. The Hills Have Eyes earned $25 million at the box office and spawned a franchise. All subsequent films in the series were made with Craven's involvement. The Hills Have Eyes was released on VHS in 1988 and has subsequently been released on DVD and Blu-ray, while Don Peake's score for the film has been released on CD and vinyl. Reviews for the film were mostly positive, with critics praising its tense narrative and humor. Some critics have interpreted the film as containing commentary on morality and the American politics, and the film has since become a cult classic. I'm telling you, my ears were so tired after this movie. Half of it is the main character screaming at everything. I realize she's been hunted and could be killed, but a little more running and a little less screaming would have been awesome. Too much. It was too much. It was a very 70s movie. It was much less disturbing than the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Massacre. I reviewed that film in an earlier video, and I hated it due to the extreme torture porn. This movie was enough to make it a point to what the characters were going through. I mentioned in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre that it's not entertaining to see people tortured, especially in that manner. If that's something you're into, then so be it. I'm not. The Hills Have Eyes did not disturb me in the way that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre did. I would say the film is fine. I like Wes Craven. It was nice to see a young Dee Wallace. I'm sure it was much more effective at the time. The story is simple. A group of weirdos go after a group of travelers who are broken down. It's a competent film. I would recommend it for this Halloween season, especially for horror film buffs who appreciate the history of the horror genre. And as far as Plex TV is concerned, to go there, I kept putting Flex TV. I was wondering what the hell's going on. I don't know. I was doing that, but make sure you put Plex and not Flex. And then once you get here, you got your free movies and TV. You got your different genres, obviously, and then you just click on horror. And then you got oodles and oodles and oodles. Horror here. There's a Hills Have Eyes right there. And then you can browse all, obviously. Pretty simple to get here. And they've got a lot of good ones. I was going to review Hostel, but they took it off there. They have Hostel 2 on there now, but maybe next year. There's Terrifier, a lot of good stuff on there. All right, so this is the last day as far as reviews are concerned. I'll make a video for tomorrow, just wishing you all a happy Halloween. So I hope you got something out of this, and please like if you did. Please subscribe if you could. Please share if you'd like, and hit the bell for updates, and I will catch you tomorrow.